Yu Jia, an average young man, gets reincarnated after choking on some water. However, despite the cliché of being sent to another world as a stud with overpowered abilities, he is rather transformed into a tree. Yes, a tree, facing many challenges in his survival. For example, the lack of limbs, Yu Jia decides to survive. Join him as he makes his way to becoming a tree god while making full use of his tree-lie abilities. The story begins in a mysterious forest, at the center of which resides a tree unlike ever seen before. All of a sudden, a voice comes out of the tree. The voice is revealed to be the tree itself. As the tree claims that it is about to choke and die, it then notices its surroundings and wonders where on earth it might be. Upon further investigation, it finally realizes that it has been transformed into a tree. Thinking that this all might be just a dream, the tree tries to fall back asleep again, hoping he will soon wake up from this nightmare. But his hopes don't come to fruition as he finds himself unable to sleep and to still be a tree. Suddenly, the voice inside the tree remembers that it choked on some water. Consequently, he theorizes that he has been transmigrated, cursing his fate to be reincarnated as a tree rather than a young man with a harem of beautiful girls. The tree wonders what it has done to deserve such a punishment. Suddenly, it realizes that trees do not have any sort of eyesight. However, for some weird reason he can see. It then tries to move its branches, finding that it is able to move only one out of the 50. Blaming his fate yet again, he sees an aeroplane up in the sky. This causes him to think that he might still be in the same era as when he was alive. Just then, two bees show up, buzzing all around him. Getting annoyed at their actions, it uses its only moving branches to kill them both in a single strike. Suddenly, he receives 0.2 evolution points, just as a stats bar appears before him. Now being named Yu Jia, he then uses his newly acquired points to strengthen his branches. Upon doing so, he becomes able to move another branch. Half a month has passed, and Yu Jia is now able to manipulate all of his branches independently. Being much stronger than before, he tries to use his techniques on a boulder near him but fails to reach it. Nonetheless, even though his attack failed to make contact, he manages to shatter a piece of the boulder via the shockwave it produced. Now with the ambition of one day becoming the world tree of this planet, Yu Jia continues to grow himself and his powers. Having no need to study, play or even work, he spends all his time traveling his path to become a tree god. He also realizes that this world and his original world are different from each other as this one is filled with mutated air. He also happens upon a nest of baby peregrine falcons, which is calling Yu Jia their home. Wondering if he can tame these beasts and get help in practicing for air battle, Yu Jia takes it upon himself to hunt and feed the neglected nest. After killing and feeding a rabbit to the falcons, he then tries to strengthen his roots. But he finds that roots cost 1 point rather than 0.1 for branches to strengthen. Claiming that the roots must be more important, he decides in favor of it. Although, this causes him tremendous pain, as though he is being hit by an electric drill. His suffering pays off as he can now manipulate his root, just like his branches, which are considerably thicker and stronger. As such, he then tries to move with the use of his root but finds the experience to be even more painful. While claiming that he has to strengthen all his other roots to protect his trunk, his heart and his lifeline, he suddenly hears some movement in the distance and prepares for battle. Yu Jia finds that the movement was caused by a fox. Although injured, the beast is still barely alive. However, upon examination, he finds that the fox has been poisoned somehow. Hesitant to feed this poisoned meat to the falcons, Yu Jia contemplates about what he should do when he learns that his sap has the ability to detoxify and heal. Deciding to test this revelation out, he helps out the fox. His sap seems to be majorly effective as the fox immediately gets back up, feeling better than ever. Furthermore, Yu Jia then decides to kill the beast in order to get more points. Despite his malicious desires, he is forced to stop his attack when the fox quickly becomes affectionate towards him. As the fox rubs against him, he is clearly taken aback by its cuteness and decides to pet it. Suddenly, the fox starts to shine. Yu Jia learns that this beast is now evolving thanks to consuming his branch's sap. Transforming to be bigger, the evolution surprises Yu Jia, but he gets more surprised when two girls show up. The girls set up a small altar at Yu Jia's trunk, revealing that the father of these girls was buried under him. After a quick prayer, one of the girls drags the other to a nearby lake, preparing to take a shower, while our perverted tree friend tries to peek at them undressing. But his dreams are crushed as his view gets blocked by another tree. Trying to readjust his position, Yu tries to move around a bit but again experiences unimaginable pain. Cursing his inability to move, he decides to cease his foolishness. As the girls get done with their shower, they head back to their village and promise again to return soon. A week has already passed since the girls came to visit, and Yu has progressed significantly. He also feeds his sap to the peregrine falcons, increasing their growth process by a lot. Now having a red fox and a group of falcons at his side, he has now gotten closer to his goal of becoming a tree god. As some time passes, he also decides to take down a beast which has been targeting him for a long time, a golden eagle. With the help of his new pets, he manages to lure the eagle within his range and promptly defeats it. However, after gaining victory against this measly bird, Yu claims that he has to get stronger in order to survive. He claims that if he is to encounter a beast of the same level as him, due to his inability to move, he is sure to die. Furthermore, he theorizes that there is going to be at least one monster capable of defeating him in the vast canon where he resides. As such, he cannot act carelessly. Not only himself, but even his pets also need to get significantly stronger so they can keep surviving. Nonetheless, as they all worked hard in working together to defeat the eagle, Yu decides to give them a treat, some of his yummy sap. But their celebration is interrupted when they encounter yet another powerful monster, a war axe snake. This foe quickly destroys 26 of Yu's branches in a single blow. Upon checking the stat bar, he also learns that this snake was on the same level as him, a level 9. The red fox, now named Xiao, starts to act aggressively towards the snake, revealing this snake to be the one who poisoned him previously. Suddenly, their enemy launches a powerful attack. Yu orders everyone to hide behind him and then proceeds to block the attack. Using the points he gathered up, he quickly strengthens all of his roots and manages to barely block the attack. Not only that, but he also attacks the snake, but his attack fails to penetrate the tough skin of his foe. Thankfully, this attack makes the snake second-guess this fight and it quickly leaves. While Yu barely manages to survive, he blames his weak self for this incident. Suddenly, a message screen pops up asking, "Do you wish to evolve?" Never wanting to be in a situation similar to this ever again, Yu presses yes without hesitation. In just a few seconds, he then starts to evolve, growing bigger and stronger. Having all his roots and branches restored, he finds that even his pets have been affected by his evolution. As such, he decides to promptly send out his falcons to locate the war axe snake. As they speed off in the distance, Yu notices that the falcon's speed has risen. Moreover, he also notices a commotion, finding that the two girls from before are being chased by many monsters. From this, Yu learns that all monsters in the area are attracted to him because of his sap. However, this doesn't mean he will allow them to eat him. Red Fox and the falcons quickly defend the girls while Yu starts to clobber up all the monsters. Launching out strong attacks, he quickly deals with the beasts, but decides to keep a few stronger ones alive to nurture and train. Now, he turns his attention to the girls, who are knocked out cold due to the shock. Wondering about what he should do with them, he feels that killing them would only attract more attention. As such, he decides to use another method. As the girls wake up, Yu claims that he is the father of these sisters via writing. The girls don't believe this, reasonably so. As such, the younger girl tells Yu to reveal her greatest secret, something she only told her dad. Thanks to the stats bar, he is able to provide this information to her. Meanwhile, inside his mind, Yu claims that in the time since he has been reincarnated in this world, maybe their father's soul, who was buried underneath him, and his soul got fused together. Finally, the girls get convinced by his words. They also reveal that because of an unknown element in the air, known as spiritual energy, all living creatures have started to now evolve. But Yu has some more problems on his hands, more like his roots. He has to tame the monsters he decided to not kill. However, he decides to do something else first, opening his status window and beginning his new enhancement to become stronger. After sending Xiao Ling, the younger sister, and Xiao King, the older sister, down the mountain with Red Fox, he quickly gets to enhance himself. The next morning, Yu is now stronger than ever before. Moreover, he has acquired new effects and techniques. In addition, thanks to his roots growing deeper in the ground, they have reached an underground river filled with spiritual energy. Delighted at his fate, he finds that the falcons have returned from their search of the war axe snake, empty-handed. As he finally starts to discipline the beasts he captured the day before, his daughters return to visit. Seeing the beasts injured, the sister quickly treat their wounds, much to Yu's surprise. This experience makes him think that maybe it's alright to relax once in a while. However, in the background, a sinister yet shadowy figure of the war axe snake is seen, giving an evil grin. Half a month has passed since the sisters discovered Yu. They once again venture into the forest to visit their father. Red Fox, much like always, heads down to pick up the sisters and helps them reach Yu's location. As they ride on Red Fox's back, they suddenly get intervened by the war axe snake, who launches a powerful attack towards them. Meanwhile, Yu continues to hoard up points, killing all the beasts he lures and thanks to his pets. Finally, today he manages to gather up a huge amount and as such decides to enhance some of his roots to level 2. Despite it costing a whopping 100 points, he accepts this deal only to find his root has transformed significantly. He tests out his attack, claiming the after effects look like a scenery from hell. While doing so, he wonders why it is taking Red Fox so much time in such a short journey. On the other hand, the war axe snake is seen dripping with blood. Worried about the girls and Red Fox, Yu sends out the falcons to locate them. Just then, Red Fox, in a near-death state, fumbles towards Yu. He quickly heals it using his sap, questioning why he is alone and where the girls are. Suddenly, in the distance, he sees the snake, smirking and playing with Xiao Ling's dead-like body. Overcome with rage, Yu uses his strongest root to attack the snake, managing to snatch away Ling's body before the snake devours it. Understanding his little chance of victory, the war axe snake quickly retreats. Meanwhile, Yu forcibly gives Ling her sap and life essence, but she shows no signs of progress. Despite using all his points, Ling still doesn't wake up. Moreover, Xiao King is nowhere to be seen. As such, Yu then sends her down the mountain to her villager, where the villagers treat her but to no avail. After hearing of her condition from his falcons, Yu, along with all his pets and monsters, furiously prepare to take his revenge on the snake. All of Yu's pets gang up on the war axe snake. Despite their obvious difference in strength, they all continue to attack the snake. Injured and bruised, still they all push forward while thinking of nothing but revenge. Nonetheless, the snake is still too powerful. Suddenly, Red Fox confronts the snake. Resolving himself to finally tear apart this snake, Red Fox rushes into attack, caring not for his own life. Snake also realizes the rage within Red Fox, deciding to kill him no matter what. They both start to clash, attacking each other repeatedly. As they both start to receive damage, the falcons also show up. They all, along with Red Fox, attack the snake furiously, demanding he returns the sisters' lives. The falcon uses a self-sacrificing attack called Bullet Dive, in which they reach speeds higher than their body can handle to attack their foe. As strong sadness flows through the air, the pets remember their reason for this fight and rush to attack. Using their combined strength and the sacrifices and efforts of their peers, they manage to push back the axe snake, slowly but surely. Nonetheless, the snake still continues to fight back with all his might, not wanting to die. However, all of this is calculated in Yu's plan, as he reveals that he has used his pets to lure the axe snake within his reach. Upon noticing Yu, the snake immediately tries to flee, realizing he is no match for him. In spite of this, Yu easily captures his foe, giving it a hard blow. Henceforth, Yu proceeds to smash the snake on the ground, finally killing it once and for all. As the survivor amongst his beasts gathers up to witness the demise of their foe, Yu continues to senselessly beat the lifeless snake, proclaiming he has no right to rest. While crying their eyes out, he and all his beasts mourn the loss of Xiao Ling and Xiao King. Yu claims in this world of the strong devouring the weak, the sisters' life will nourish new ones and make them all stronger. But this sadness within them all is not unreasonable. Soon after the battle ends, Yu thanks all the beasts for helping him take revenge. He also offers his sap to all of them as a parting gift. he announces that everyone present can leave if they wish to do so. Among the beasts, which involves a cow, monkey, crane, and a pack of tempest wolves, drink the sap and they immediately level up. As Yu-Jai expresses his happiness at their growth, he claims he is excited to see their progress in the future. Surprisingly, none of the beasts decides to leave, deciding to stay with him instead. Delighted to no end, Yu promises to help them get stronger and make sure they don't die. Soon after, he then assigns a task to all the beasts, forming a strong foundation. Everything is back to normal, until one day, when a shining orb of light appears in front of Yu, containing a humanoid figure. This glowing orb is revealed to the mutated soul of Xiao King. Yu also learns that his branches have a special ability to nurture souls. As such, he decides to do so with Xiao King. He surrounds the soul with his branches, as a gentle voice asks who she is. He tells her that she is Xiao King, a person important to him. Suddenly, she starts to get a headache, stating that a stream of sadness is entering her mind. In addition, she claims that this is a great exhaustion on her body. This statement makes Yu wonder about the possibilities. As such, he comes up with an insane idea. He proceeds to ask Xiao King's soul whether she can live inside Xiao Ling's body, as Ling herself. In this world, humans have now formed an organization to deal with and study spiritual energy and these mutated monsters. Furthermore, humans who have a special ability to manipulate spiritual energy have also appeared. These humans, upon awakening, are given the title of special beings. A similar human named Yan Gao Yuan, along with the chief of this organization, Chen Yang, make their way to Yu after learning of a strong presence there. Meanwhile, Yu decides to set up a smokescreen of fog and illusions to keep out other humans. However, he soon feels the presence of Yan Gao and his companions enter the fog. Back to Yan Gao and his group, who have Yu's fog but are unable to continue because of it. Chen Yang orders some people to watch their vehicles while others enter the fog and visit the village. Along with them, they take special ammunition which has been created solely for these mutated beasts. Yu, in the meantime, has convinced King of his plan and she tries to fuse with Ling's body. Just then, she sees the image of Yan Gao, who has entered the village and claims that Ling can be revived. While King tries her best to fuse with Ling's body on her end, remotely, Yan Gao also pulls out a mysterious red potion, claiming that Ling has a special ability which is needed in these disastrous times. He feeds this potion to her. As this potion enters Ling's body, King feels an immense rush of power and she finally manages to take over the body. This causes Ling to immediately wake up, much to everyone in the village's surprise. Yu orders King to retrieve information on the humans who have entered the village. Later that night, the villagers throw a party to celebrate Ling's recovery. During the party, Ling makes contact with Yan Gao and asks him their reason for coming here. He reveals that mutated beasts were spotted here via a satellite and they are here to do some research. Luckily, Yan Gao and his team haven't yet learned about Yu's presence. The next day, the group leaves heads out. Before their departure, Yan Gao asks Ling's grandfather to let her accompany them, claiming he will see to it that she is looked after. Her grandfather agrees, having no other choice. The group then decides to pick up Ling on their return and makes their way into the forest. However, they are confused in the fog. The end. For now.